Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mordheim, City of the Damned, the guide, tips and tricks, and a small playthrough. Before I introduce the Warbands to you, I want to state a basic game mechanic to you. You're in the city of Mordheim to compete other Warbands for Wordstone, for loot. So, normally you just say, I run around, take all the stuff, and if I find an enemy, I fight him. That is not how it works, because you can only leave a map if you either beat the enemy warband or beaten by the enemy warband. The winning warband gains a percentage of the loot that is still on the battlefield depending on the number of combatants still alive for that warband. So for example, if you send 5 men or women into the fight and 5 of them survive, each of them is taking a portion of the loot away. If your warband is looting the fight, you're taking nothing with you besides the stuff that you have gathered from the field with the combatants in your warband that survived the fight. And those of you who did not will lose some of their equipment. So your main goal should be to beat the enemy warband, not to run around looting stuff. The percentage of the loot taken by your surviving forces depends on the difficulty level of the mission. If you play normal, it's about 4%. If you take deadly, it's about 7%. So try to take as many people to the fight as you can, and try to survive with as many people as you can each fight. There is the question, when I bring 5, will the enemy bring 8? No, the enemy will bring always exact the same number of troops to the battle as you do. Even the same composition. If you're bringing 2 heroes, he will bring 2 heroes. If you will bring an impressive, he will bring an impressive. The computer will always bring the same number of troops to battle as you do. The only difference is, if you take higher difficulty level missions, like deadly, the enemy will be leveled up more than your troops. 30 to 40% if it goes to extreme, so be careful. Now as for the warbands you can choose, they differ not only in their optics, they also differ in their variety of weapons that they can use, in their heroes and henchmen and leader abilities, in their skills, and in the things that they can do in battle. So, for example, the human mercenaries are specialists in ranged combat. They have the greatest variety of ranged weapons that they can buy and use. For example, they have blunderbusses, handguns, hunter rifles, long bows, dueling pistols, crossbows, bows, you name it, they've got it. And they can use it. Most of their troops can use a variety of ranged weapons. Their special skills, their so-called warband skills, are also mainly focused about ranged combat. They can make decent close combat fighters, since most of them can wear heavy armor. Those who not can at least wear light armor and shields. So they're ranged, versatile troops, you could say. And then we have the Skaven. The Skaven are the fastest. They have the highest initiative, and they have the highest movement. Their skills depend mainly on swarming the enemy, their special skills, and doing poison damage. Their weapons range from poisonous claws to thrown shuriken and warblock pistols. While they have some ranged weapons at their disposal, all of their ranged weapons are short-ranged, and there is not a great variety of them. They're not that proficient with heavy armor. Some of the units can wear heavy armor, but most of them cannot. So they're not a very defensive order. They're good for running around and gathering stuff. They're not so good for keeping them alive. That brings us to the Sisters of Sigma. The Sisters of Sigma are a very defensive warband. Most of them can carry heavy to light armor. Their special skills evolve around defending themselves and keeping themselves alive. Their spells as well, because they are the only ones that can heal actually. They can boost their dodge and defensive stances, and they cannot use any ranged weapons whatsoever. Yes, they can buy one mercenary that can use ranged weapons, but that's it. All the Sisters of Sigma have totally no access to ranged weapons whatsoever. Then we come to the Cult of the Possessed. Now, these guys can get so-called mutations, some of them at least, that will replace your gear. That is positive because they cannot be lost. That is negative because gear sometimes has the better advantages, and you have no control over what mutation you actually get most of the time. The Cult of the Possessed have a very, very small access to weapons, and they don't have access to very good weapons. Some of them can wear heavy armor, but not all. Their skills is, however, where they shine, because their special skills allow you to force the enemy to flee battle, which results in you striking them in the back. They allow you to gain back offensive points, they allow you to gain back strategic points, which makes you all in all more deadly and more mobile on the battlefield when battle starts. So, without any further ado, let's jump right into one Warband and I show you the interior and the game mechanics. And here is my Warband. I just started, so I didn't buy any weapons, I didn't do any missions. The first thing you should always consider looking at is the veteran system. If you've played the game before, you might have killed some enemies, delivered some wordstone, found some gear, recruited some troops, did some leveling, and that will all result in getting you training points for your veteran skills. For the veteran skills you can buy, for example, Commander, which will lower the upkeep for your Impressive and Commanders. You can get contracts, which gives you a small, I'm really talking a small chance here to get extra items after each battle. It will give you the ability to get better prices when you sell, to get better prices when you buy, and to get special items when it's selling day, reduce the cost of healing, give you more time to fulfill the request from the smuggler's den. And the things I recommend for you, the first thing you should always get is renown, because it reduces the cost of hiring troops. And you'll have to hire a lot of them, since they get wounded too badly, so that you have to dismiss them. They can be killed, and in the beginning you have to buy 4 of them anyway, so take that as soon as you can. The next thing I recommend is Scholar. Why? Well, it does not look like much, 5% and 10% down price. But keep in mind, training is extremely costly. Training a skill can cost you up to 900 gold. 900. That's a heavy armor costs you 14 gold. So boy, you can save a lot of money by this skill here. I recommend that totally. But back to the Warband. I back a moment to introduce my Warband. My Warband is called Knörs Finest because this is named after my boss at work, which is an excellent boss. I won't trade her for anyone I've ever had. So the leader is Susie Feldwebel. Susie Feldwebel is a military rank in the German army that was given to her to mock her. But actually, I think she should wear it proudly, because a Feldwebel is the mother of a company, and that is what she actually is for our group. She leads us, she encourages us, she protects us, and she's very clever, and she gives us a tip when we need one. Then we have a Dani Inselsprung, which is actually her second in command, as it is here. She's as clever as she's nice, and there could not be a better second in command. And then we have our 3 rising stars, our younglings. I hope I can see them rise through the ranks of our firm. So there is Julian Sibbe, André van Gogh, and Daniela Highlander. All of them are nice, all of them are clever, and all of them, I hope, will make their way in our company. So, when you look at the Warband, you can, in the start, you have one leader, which is your most important unit. If that unit falls, there is a high chance that the rest of your people will just run away and you lose the battle automatically. Then you have one hero and 3 henchmen. Let's click on the leader. The types of leader you get and the special abilities of the leader depend on your Warband. For example, humans will get a captain, Skaven will get an assassin, and they all have different abilities. As here, they will all have different weapons, and they will all have different skills and they can learn different skills, and they can use different weapons, and they have a different maximum stats for their abilities. As for the game mechanics, most importantly, each and every unit has an offensive pool, which is the red dots, and a strategic pool, which is the blue dots. The offensive points will allow you to attack and counterattack. The blue pills, or dots, the strategic points, will allow you to move on the battlefield and use special abilities. The maximum number that will rise up when you level. The maximum number of offensive and defensive or strategic points depends on your type. Leaders have a maximum of 9-8, as have heroes. Henchmen only can go as far as 5 offensive points and 6 strategic points. Keep in mind that doing a normal attack will cost you 2 offensive points. Doing charge, for example, or doing a flintlock attack with a ranged weapon that is using Black Pounder will cost you 3 offensive points. Using a weapon that is tiring, meaning 2 100 weapons at the same time, or a 200 weapon, will cost 1 more offensive point than the first attack. So, than the attack before. That means 1 attack with the 200 weapon, 2 offensive points. The second attack with the 200 weapon will cost you 3 offensive points. So actually, a hero or a leader in the beginning can attack 2 times with a 200 weapon or with 2 100 weapons. She, for example, can strike 2 times with her big hammer. She can strike 2 times with her small hammer and then have 1 point left. Now you ask, Boris, why should I have points left? Because of counterattacks. Whenever an enemy attacks you, no matter if he misses or if you dodge or parry or do something else, and you have offensive points left, you can counterattack. You can strike him. Why is that important? Because he will not have any stance to defend himself. So if you're going up against someone who is blocking like hell or dodging like a rat, try to get him with a counterattack, but more on that later. Keep in mind that they are refreshed every turn. But there are ways for the enemy to reduce your points. Although they're very rare, it is possible, so just that you know that. Next most important thing is the initiative. The higher the better, because the higher means you strike first before the enemy does. You will move first before the enemy does. It's a turn-based game. And each turn it is determined who goes first and who goes second. Initiative is influenced, 1, by the weapon you're using. Some weapons are reducing the initiative, some are boosting it. By your armor, heavy armor is lowering it. And by your alertness. The higher the alertness, the higher is your initiative. So try to have a high initiative if you can, because the one who strikes first normally lives longer. That brings us to defense. If everything else fails, it comes to defense. The enemy attacks you and it's calculated if it hits you. That is calculated by your melee resistance. Melee resistance is not the amount of damage that is reduced. That is armor absorption. Melee resistance is the percentage that is taken from the enemy's chance to hit you. So try to rise that as high as humanly possible, because it will work even if you've got no defensive stance. And that means it works if you are getting counterattacked by someone, because when you're getting counterattacked for your attack, you cannot parry and you cannot dodge. It's all up to your melee resistance to avoid getting hit. How do I rise melee resistance? Well, there are shields that can do that. Shield normally rises it by 5%. The better the shield, the higher the rise. There is agility. Put it as high as you possibly can, because agility gives you melee resistance and dodge chance. Woohoo! That is what keeps you alive. And there is melee skill, your weapon skill, which will also increase your melee resistance. So try to keep that as high as possible. There are some skills that rise that, but sadly only by 5 to 10%, with a lot of investment of skill points, that is. So let's say your melee resistance failed and the enemy is hitting you. Then it's checked, do you have a stance, dodge or parry? Obviously, when you are attacking and you're getting counterattack, you have neither of the two. If you have ambushed the enemy, you will have no stance, so neither of them. But if you've taken a dodge stance or a parry stance before you get attacked, then the system calculates if you dodge the attack or parry the attack. Only if you can only take one of the stances, of course. If the stance works, the stance is used up, unless you have a special skill that gives you more dodge attempts. Normally you only have one dodge attempt, but that also means if the enemy attacks you and you do not dodge, and he attacks you again and you have not used up your dodge attempt because it did not succeed, you have another dodge attempt. So, if you're hit and your dodge don't work, don't worry, you might have another dodge attempt if you're getting attacked a second time that turn. What is the difference between dodge and parry? Parry will allow you to counterattack with one less offensive points. So when you've only 1 point left, like our leader for example, after she attacked 2 times, she has only 1 offensive point left. So if she dodges, she will not counterattack because it will cost 2 points. If she parries, it will only cost you 1 point, since parrying reduces the number of offensive points needed to counterattack by 1. What else does that mean? Parry can be reduced. Your chance to parry can be reduced by certain skills. For example, the weapon skill. Oh, well, I think sorry. Yeah, strength. Strength reduces the enemy's chance to parry your attack. And furthermore, there are some weapons that completely ignore your parry. For example, if you're fighting rat augurs or chaos spawns, they have armbands, and that weapon will ignore your parry. So don't try to parry those guys. It will not work. Then we come to the dodge stance. The dodge is, in my eyes, the superior way of defending yourself because, for one, there is no weapon that can ignore dodge. There are weapons that can lower your chance to dodge and lower your chance to parry. Daggers, for example, spears. But there is no weapon that can negate dodge. And furthermore, there are some weapons that even give you a bonus to dodge. And it is that kind of weapon that you want to avoid. 200 hammers, 200 swords, 200 war axes. Those weapons give you a better chance to dodge if the enemy is using them. So if you see something running in your way with a 200 weapon, like a sword, a axe or a hammer, dodge is your friend. Don't try that against flails and halberds because it will not work as well against them as it does. Well, it will still work, but you will get no bonus against them. So let's say everything has failed. Your melee resistance has not worked, you have been hit, and your dodge and parry has both been failed. By the way, you normally only have 1 dodge attempt if you take a dodge stance, and 1 parry attempt if you take a parry stance. Except you have a special ability or skill that is called sidestep for dodge. Then you get 1 additional dodge attempt each turn. If you have it in basic, and master you will have 2, or Web of Steel, which will give you 1 additional parry attempt, if you're taking a parry stance of course, or 2 if you're a master. So you can get up to 3 times dodge or 3 times parry each turn if you have the necessary skill. Keep that in mind, because keeping your people alive is your main objective in this game. So everything else has failed. It comes to armor absorption. Armor absorption is gained, of course, by wearing armor. A helmet gives you 5%, a heavy armor normal gives you 25%, light armor gives you 10%, and cloth will give you nothing. There are skills, some very few skills, that give you a very, very little bonus armor absorption. Your goal is to get armor absorption normally as high as possible because, well, you want to survive. Why do I press this surviving that much? Your warband lives through a lot of battles, hopefully, and they will have to deal with everything that happens to them on these battles. They may lose eyes, they may lose arms, they will get blind, deaf, or whatever. The enemy warband is created every time anew. The computer will always get a new warband. The computer will always get a new impressive. The computer will always get new weapons, armors, and all that stuff. Deal with it. You must keep your women and men alive at all costs. Fight defensively. Don't rush off a worth zone. Keep your people alive and kicking. Train them, skill them, arm them. That's the way you beat this game. That brings us to attributes. You have physical, mental, and martial attributes. Each time you level up, you will get 1 point here, maybe 1 point here, maybe 1 point there. It depends on the level. You're not always getting 1, 1, 1. Sometimes you're only getting 1 physical, sometimes you're getting 1 mental and 1 martial, sometimes you're getting 1 physical and 1 martial, and so on. Basically, in the physical tree, I recommend for each and every character to get agility as high as possible first, because melee resistance, dodge, and climb, well, jump and leap. You'll not need that necessarily. Melee resistance and dodge is your friend all the time. Then you go for strength, because damage, damage, damage. Ignoring or bypassing the parry stance is nice, but, well, not every enemy can parry. Now you ask, why cannot every enemy parry? Because dodging, everyone can. That's what makes dodge great. Parry you can only do if you've got a shield, a sword, or a halberd, or if you're escaping and using weeping blades. But not all weapons can parry. Actually, only very little weapons and shields, shields always, but only very little weapons have the ability to give you the chance to parry or go into a parry stance. So, strength primarily is there to do damage. It also increases your carrying capacity. That means you can take more loot from the battlefield. But as I said, that is not necessarily a primary objective. Toughness is nice because it gives you more wounds. But as I said, agility is more important. In the mental section, go for alertness. Alertness is initiative. Initiative is life. Intelligence is needed to learn a lot of skills, so don't try to leave that out of the way. Leadership, moral. Yeah, you should not be forced to use your moral stat, and you should not be forced to all alone fear and terror test if you can stop it. So alertness here is your main goal. Martial, weapon skill is your most and best friend, because melee resistance and melee hit chance, and if needed, parry. Ballistic skill, well, if you are a Sisters of Sigma, you can forget about those anyway. If you are human, that is very important to you. If you are Skaven and Chaos, well, you don't need that much. As I said, ranged combat has the problem that you are in city fighting, so guess yourself. Accuracy, also very important, but not as important as weapon skill. That is it for the abilities. Now I talked a lot about skills. Skills can be accessed over this battle. Please keep in mind that training a skill not only costs you money, training a skill will also take your trooper out for a day, 2 or 3 from the battle. So keep that in mind. There are offensive skills that need to be activated, and they're passive skills. I personally prefer passive skills because they will work every time. You don't have to do anything to make them work. And remember also, excuse me, remember also that every skill comes in 2 varieties, basic and mastery. Basic costs you 2 skill points, and yes, the number of skill points you can get to maximum is limited. 14 for henchmen, 20 for heroes. That means you can only learn a specific number of skills. So plan ahead. Normally learning a skill costs you 2 skill points. Mastering the skill will cost you additional 4. So in total, if you want to master a skill, 6 points off the hook. What does that mean? Well, if you're a henchman, for example, like Daniela Highlander, she will only be able to learn 2 master skills and 1 skill in basic. Or she will be able to learn 7 skills in basic form. As I said, the passive skills in my eyes are the most important because they will work all of the time, every time. For example, if you're up for heavy armor, you should learn armor proficiency. Simple, because armor reduces your movement range. If you're too slow, you will be caught by the enemy and killed. Now you say, Boris, heavy armor reduces my movement by 2 meters. Basic only reduces my penalty by 1 meter. So if I want to get as fast as all the others are, I will have to get it to mastery. So I get 2 meters back from my 2 meters I lost. No, you don't. Think smart. There is a skill in the knowledge tree which is called knowledge tactics, and where is it? Knowledge Mordheim, which will give you an additional meter. So before you spend 6 points just to get the movement back of 2 meters, take the skill of knowledge of Mordheim 1 meter, and take armor proficiency 1 meter. Yes, you're not getting the additional 5% armor absorption, but you're getting the 2 meters you want in movement back that you lost from your heavy armor. The skill that I mostly recommend is Avoid, because 10% dodge chance for 2 points is just wonderful. Try to buy that every time. If you're in for the Sisters of Sigma, I will also recommend that you get special offensive skills. The only offensive skills I recommend for every character is Sidestep, because Sidestep will allow you to get additional dodge attempts. If you are a parrying guy, you go for Web of Steel. But why is that? If you're locked in combat, your strategic points are wasted because you cannot run anywhere. You can only attack. So what do you do with your strategic points? Well, you use them for stances, for sidestep, for example. Or, if you have more of them, why not take Prayer of Swiftness, so get 50% dodge chance, and then take sidestep. Then all your strategic points are used up, if you've got 6 of them, and you're in a perfect position to dodge. For the other skills that I recommend, well, get to the defensives again. Knowledge Tactic is always nice because it rises dodge and parry as well. And in the weapon section, where is it? Is Shield Specialist, because it increases your melee resistance, and there are not many things that can do that. So, more about the skills you will learn through the Let's Play, but that is the basic skills that I want to bring to your attention. Sidestep and Web of Steel on the offensive part, and Alertness, what is it called? Avoid in the passive section. So, what else influences your character? Well, of course, your gear. And that is where it starts to get very, very interesting. There is a hell of a lot of gear. They come in different qualities. They can be ruined, enchanted, whatever. The most important thing is that you have the right gear on the right character. And in the first round of combat, you should have a shield and a one-handed weapon in your hand. Why? Because the most dangerous round in combat is the first round. Because in the first round you have not taken any stances. In the first round you don't have any control over your troops. If the enemy is faster than you, he can gang up on one of your men or women if they're close to him, and can stab them as he likes. The first thing you do, you go to the shop. You have always some money left in the beginning, and you look for heavy armor. If you have heavy armor, buy as much as you can. Then you look for light armor. Well, of course you don't buy more armor than you have troops, but buy them. Two-handed weapons are your friends. The more, the better. If possible, every one of your guys should wear a heavy weapon as second. Shields, very important. And one-handed weapons. And now comes the interesting part. For example, weapons can give you a bonus to your initiative. And in the first round, you want a bonus to your initiative as hell, because you want to group together. You can't go for a Sigmarine Warhammer. It does more damage to than the flail. Yes, it does. But the flail will give you plus 10 initiative. So, hell yeah, we want flails. The dagger always gives you 10%, but it does very little damage. The mace gives you 5, and it's not percent, it's total points, 5 total points, and the damage is quite good. So if you can use flails, most of the other, actually I think only the sisters can use flails, go for maces. Maces are great. In the beginning you're very bad at hitting, so that might help. The consumables, madcap mushrooms and all of that I do not recommend. They cost money and they're not that effective. Go for armor, weapons and shields. Now to the equipment. She's already wearing a hammer and a shield. She can parry, so she's fine. She's wearing a great hammer. That's not a good weapon to start with. It gives you a negative initiative and it gives the enemy a chance to dodge. So actually we want her as first weapon, because the first slot is the one that is taken when she enters the battlefield. We want a flail and a shield. And then we want to give her a great flail as secondary weapon. So, she gets light armor. The Chief of the Watch gets heavy armor, of course, because she has to live. If you can, give everyone a helmet. Helmets are extremely good. You want helmets. So, heavy armor for Dani Highlander. And as a secondary weapon, she will get a great hammer. Why? Because, let's assume she has attacked the enemy. Then she has used up 2 of her points, and she has 1 point left. Then she can switch to the great hammer, go into a dodge stance, and next round she can hammer the guy with the great hammer, because she will only have 1 attack anyway if she attacks with the one-handed weapon or with the two-handed weapon, but the two-handed weapon will do more damage. So, next one, great hammer of course, and heavy armor. Next one, light armor, because we have nothing else left, and we can change that to a flail. That will at least rise her speed a little bit. We have 1 flail left. We can change the great hammer for a flail. So now we have the Sigmarite Warhammer. Yes, the Sigmarite Warhammer does more damage, but the problem is the initiative. We must be fast. So the equipment thing is done. Sadly, we have no helmets, which is a real shame. We'll not be selling any weapons, because you'll never know when you need them. If your guys are put out of action, they may lose their equipment, and then you will be happy that you have some equipment left. There was the question of giving a helmet or anything to a guy or to a lady that can cast spells. I'm not a friend of spellcasting, because spellcasting has always the chance to misfire and take your hero out of action, either for a turn or completely. And that is a too big risk to take in my eyes. So we're outfitted. Everyone is wearing a shield and a one-handed weapon as primary, so they will be able to defend themselves a little bit better in the first round, because it gives melee resistance, the shield, and we have a higher initiative than we were wearing two-handed weapons. We have two-handed weapons in our secondary slots for most of the ladies, and so we're good to go. Let's look at the campaign map and what is there to learn. On the campaign map there are always some missions for you available. And you should always look for one, for the skull, for the difficulty. Normal means the enemy will have the same level as you. Remember, they will always bring the same number of troops. There is no outnumbering here. And they will tell you a secondary mission objective. Here it's Birdstone Rush. That means you have to collect 60% of the Birdstone to gain the secondary objective. What is the secondary objective? The primary objective is always to knock the enemy out, to destroy the enemy warband, to make them flee. The secondary objective will give you bonus experience points. Actually a lot. You're getting 1 for doing the mission, you're getting 3 or 2 for doing the bonus objective. So try to do the bonus. Some say leave the bonus behind, because if you do not level that fast, you have more time to get better equipment, because when you're doing missions with a higher difficulty, of course the enemy will be even higher in level, and if you don't have the right equipment and the enemy is extremely high in level, then you will have real problems. The mission that or the secondary mission you should avoid at all costs is break their will, because break their will means you have to get to their headquarters, steal their flag, and get back to your headquarters. Well, that is on one hand an awful lot of weight to cover, and it is secondly very, very bad, because what do you want to do? Do you want to leave your wagon alone? Or do you want to leave someone behind and split your forces? Never ever split your forces. The main tactic of Mordheim that you should always keep in your mind is stay together. Group together. Now we're told about the wordstone amount, average and average, so there's no difference here, and in the loot of items on the field. Here it's very poor, and here it's poor. And then comes the deployment, and that is very important. You should try to avoid deployments where people are scattered, because scattered means the enemy can gang up on them. If you deploy them around your wagon or on the field, you can deploy them tightly together and they can give each other help and cover. If none of the missions here suit you, you can send scouts up to 3 times, and every time they will cover up a new mission for you. But that costs gold, and every piece of gold counts. Trust me. So, here one is around his troops, his cart, and the others is spread, and you will never know which one is you. And here both are tightly around the wagon, so of course we take this one here. Yep. Wait, this one here is marked for death, so that means we have to kill a certain enemy and take his belongings. That is a little bit harder to accomplish, because you're not even sure that the right enemy, for example, you have to kill their leader, and if their leader is staying back with a ranged weapon, you will get no hand on them. Wordstone is a little bit easier, because the wordstone is always seen on the map and you can plan around that. But we're going for this one because of the deployment. After all, even more important than the secondary mission and the experience gained from it is taking your people home in one piece again.
Your scouts have discovered a Riven in the vicinity. These warriors are clustered around their wagon, making them a very attractive target.
So we have to take down Argas Böhler's Lucky Charm. That means for me we're fighting humans. Human mercs. That is not that bad. Expect halberds, younglings with halberds, expect guys with bows, and expect normal soldiers with 200 weapons. Because that's their main armament. So, we can now deploy our troops. The first thing we always look is at the initiative. When you look at the top of the screen, you can see that the enemy is, well, about our speed. It's quite good mixed. We're a little bit slower with some of our troops because they're wearing heavy armor. He has 1 youngling, he has 1 leader, and he has 2 ranged fighters. So we expect longbows, and we do not see his 3rd trooper, his 3rd headman, but we will see that. A quick look on the map will tell us that most of the stuff is centered to our right. Well, all of the stuff actually. Where is the enemy wagon? It's here. Okay. So we actually want to go through this way here and start gathering that stuff up. Yeah, I'm not a fan of close combat in houses, because if you do that, there is the possibility that you're blocked in a doorway and you can only fight one-on-one. And one-on-one is not what you want in this world. Okay, but she is faster, so she should stay. The ones with the heavy armor, always keep in mind, are slower, so they should not be on the first spot, or closest to your goal, or to you where you want to move. So, we're the first. No, the enemy is first to move. He has his warrior, so he has 1 warrior, okay. About movement. When you move, always look on the ground and always look on the edges of the buildings, because there are traps everywhere. Traps normally have a very, very bad effect of you. For one, they can debuff you. For two, they limit your movement. As you can see, I, for example, can move a little bit forward and a little bit forward, and then I decide, oh, that's not good, I want to move back. So I move over this glowing blue things, and I can rework my movement and, for example, can go this way. And look there if it's better there. And no, it's not. Let's go back. So, we know that our hirelings here, our Sisters of Sigma in the heavy armor, are quite small. So we're using up two of our points, of our strategic points, to buff her movement, because she will need it. She is slow. So we move forward. Okay, we're getting closer. Try not to stand in the way of your people. The enemy is far away, so I can go into assault, or as it's called, ambush stance. That means if someone gets into my range, I will attack him. Normally I don't recommend that, because if you go in that stance, you will not have any defensive stances on you. We're told that there is a word stone. It's probably up there, but at the point we have no way of going there. Well, there might be a way. No, there is no way in on that side. Don't walk over the fleshy things on the ground, there might be traps. Oh, there is a way in. Is there? Probably. The question is, go we this way around? Yes, we go that way around, because there is a lot of loot. That's excellent. Yeah, and we have open space to fight, so we're going this way. Of course, your main goal is to let the enemy split up and then go after him. If there were enemies around, I will not go that far forward normally, because I must keep my people together. Oh, Sigma's Might. No, we're not casting. We're going into ambush stance. You'll never know. There is some weird shit going on in this town. For those of you who are not aware of the backstory, Mordheim was a city in the Warhammer world. The Warhammer world is a high fantasy world, medieval. Late medieval, actually, because they're already black powder weapons. And this was once a glory city of the Empire. Then it was struck by a comet filled with radioactive goo, you could say. And that goo transmutated the city. Irradiated the city, killing the inhabitants and turning those who it did not kill into very strange decorations. Oh boy, look at this. We really have a movement problem with this heavy armor. But it is no problem, we have the time, the enemy will come for us. Yes, the enemy will loot more than we can loot, but that is no problem, because he must kill us to win the fight. So he will actually just take the stuff to us that he loots. So look at that, that is a trap. You can tell by the writings on the wall. I cannot see anything. I could, however, try to get inside. No. We're sticking to the plan. We keep together, we protect our asses. We travel as one group. She is equipped with light armor, she can go inside. Oh, there is Wordstone. Yes, I'm splitting up, I know. And I don't even know where the enemy is. Well, we're not that far away from our people, are we? So let's... we could go the other way around. See what's there. Oh, great. I walked into a trap. And we're split from our people. Great, Boris. You're a wonderful tactician. I would buy you any time. So, we don't want to do anything like that. I should really get my people together. This is not good. The enemy has not claimed a single piece of birdstone, which is strange. Normally they're more gathering. You can see, in the upper left corner of the screen, you can see the 20 and the 60. One marked in blue, one marked in red. Red is the moral bar of the enemy, and blue is mine. As I'm Sisters of Sigma, my moral pool is better than that of the human mercenaries. So actually it takes more for them to take me out than it takes me to take them out. Each time one of the fighters is put out of action, the bar decreases. If it falls under the line, there is a chance the enemy runs away completely. Boy, are we slow. Yeah, that's the fate of heavy armor, is it? The problem is that you always have the feeling that you have to run around. Let's see if we... Oh, see that? That is the enemy. Let's see who he is. It is Jarl Mordborg. Well, I couldn't care less. Whoa, it's a positive warp effect. That is rare. Normally you only get bad ones. A wordstone shard. Wordstone come in different sizes and qualities. The wordstone shard is medical, the others are better or worse. So we go into an ambush stance. The enemy will be all over us within minutes. But we can live with that. We have our teams close by. But I should think about taking defensive stances soon, because the enemy will be close to us very, very soon. Okay, I could buff some of them. Actually, I should try to gather some stuff before the real fighting starts. Oh, I see a chest. See that glowing white thing there? I've only 1 point left, so doesn't make a whole lot of a difference. So let's go here and go into an ambush stance. I don't see an enemy, but they're close. I must now get more tightly together. Oh, I see their youngling. Okay. Where's the youngling? Oh, maybe we can get some loot. we cannot. Because I think the loot is is upstairs. Okay, then we well, we should not go into ambush stance actually, or we could. We have the heavy armor. If I go into ambush stance here and the enemy appears, I will run into the trap. And I really don't want to do that. So I better keep a little bit away. Oh, crap. Gift of Savagery. 15% magic melee damage now. That is impressive. Let's go into ambush stance. Ah, I told you never to stop on that stuff on the ground. Well, perhaps he will already appear now. Depends on how fast he is. And if he's interested to get dancing with us. I would not recommend killing his leader first if I can stop it, because taking his leader out will most likely make them root before I get Arger's Böhler's Lucky Charm, which is my secondary objective. On the other hand, if he attacks, what chance do I have? I will have to take him out. So, I don't see their ranged fighters. Remember, we want to win this. Okay, I think the best way to get there is to walk here, 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 and here. Boy, are we slow. We are incredible slow. Okay.
A new round has started.
And we are the fastest, hooray! Well, the enemy guy will be there any second now. Because he's there. We can try to get some stuff before everything goes dark, but I think we should concentrate on going here. And then I will delay. Or perhaps I go a little bit behind my lady to be protected by her. Dodge stance, parry stance, perception and delay. Let the enemy come to us. We have no reason to rush, we're playing it cool. And there he is. And that is extremely bad, because now we cannot gang up on him. Oh shit. Well, we could go for our secondary weapon. Nice. Now, do we go for parry? Or do we go for dodge? As he's not using a two-handed weapon, we'll get no bonus from doing a parry stance. A dodge stance, so we're going into parry. So now is the problem, we cannot outrun the guy. We cannot attack as well, because he's in the doorway and it's blocked for us. So the only thing we can really do is go around, possibly like this. Can we charge? Charge would be nice. Yeah, why not? Wonderful. One more for the team, and he's out. By the way, it's Julian Dressler. So we go into parry stance. Do we want to get caught in here? No, we don't. Loot the guy. He's got an axe and a dagger. Not that it's a lot, but it's better than nothing. So, we go here and end our turn. So, let's have a look around the corner if there's someone coming for us. She's rather fast, so in theory... Oh, she is... okay, you will stay back. Well, actually, you can go here. And the youngling is still active, so actually I want to go into dodge. No. We're delaying again. We can delay one more turn and still be able to attack someone if he's unclever enough to come through the way. And I bet he will. The only problem is that I guess he will be having a halberd in his hands. And that way he might be able to do a lot of damage. Should have taken parry stance. No, he's not. You're strange. Oh, he's got a spear. Interesting choice. He's in the doorway. That is bad because that means I cannot gang up on him properly. Spear means he has a bonus chance of... oh, maybe I can drag him out. No, I cannot. Crap. Okay, then we go as close as we can. I don't want to go into the youngling with this one here. He's wearing heavy armor as well, as you can see. So that might be a problem, because that means he will be able to take a lot of damage. The good thing is the spear is not really very dangerous. It does not do a lot of damage. Okay. Here we go. Let's go into ambush stance. Should we go into ambush stance? Yeah, we cannot do anything else because if we delay, it will not... Oh, we can go into defensive, into parry stance. Yeah, the enemy is around, I know that. So actually, I delay. I hope I know what I'm doing. You will delay as well. The enemy will come for us, no question. And then we should be ready. Oh, well, we're the last in line. The enemy cannot come for us. I'm a moron. Okay. Well, we go into an ambush stance far enough away that we don't run into the trap, because running into the trap will be very, very bad.
A new round has started.
Okay, let's have a look around. I could go for the word stone. Actually, I should concentrate on what I'm good at. I think you better delay. Yeah, you delay. Okay, I could attack. If I move even an inch, he will attack me. But perhaps I can get him out in the open and gangbang him. That would be nice. But of course I don't want to gangbang him with a She's only wearing light armor, so that would be a bad choice. I could attack him. We delay. I should take more defensive stances now, because they will be all over me within seconds. Whoa! Look at that guy! What is his name? Argas Boiler. Oh boy, you are the guy I need. So I have to get up there. Can I get you out of here? No, I obviously cannot. Okay, so oh, there he comes. Ouch! Oh. You're good at what you do, boy. Yes, feel it. And of course we take parry. The problem is he's using a spear, so he will be negating my parry stance. But perhaps we can make him a little bit nervous. Yay! Gang up on the guy. Oh, you're miserable. Dodge or parry. We'll go into parry. Okay. Hit him and hit him hard. Yes! And of course we go into parry stance. Yes, he fails! What? Why didn't he run? He could go into the door. Oh, great. More ranged fighters. The last thing I need. And I need that young man up there. And I need him dead. Okay, is there any other way up there? No, there is just a trap. Okay, let's go into an ambush stance. Oh, wait. Is it possible, if I move correctly, to get in the back of that guy? That would have been awesome. Yes. So, and turn. We must cover our lady. Our lady's back, to be more precise. So we go here. They will come down. And then we can attack them. Now you should not block way-throughs, but in this case...
A new round has started.
Yes, hammer the guy. I would not change weapon because there are too many ranged fighters around. Excellent choice. Oh, look at this. He's got a wordstone cluster. Well done, well done, well done. Okay. I must really get these guys up there without getting myself pummeled, so I go into parry stance here. Can you loot the guy? Okay, I want the... I think the dueling pistol is worth something. Take it. And then I want you to delay. Because I'm pretty sure the guy's coming down for us. Oh crap, they run. Before we were able to take down the guy upstairs. Ah! And we've only taken 2 guys down. Ah, well.
The faithful need never fear defeat. Great
You are
Sigmar's
progressing
strength
nicely.
lives within them.
Task completed.
Okay, I didn't do the secondary objective. I could have tried to run up there and take it, but it is too risky. Always remember, protect your troops. That is the main thing you have to keep in mind. Woohoo! Well, they didn't do a lot. None of them did. Yay! The question is, what did we get from the battlefield? Ooh, nicely. We have a new point. You've gained 1 skill point, which is excellent. We will immediately invest that point into Scholar, actually. Better start early. We have to pay our Warband, which we do. We have no wounded, so we don't have to pay for treatment. That is also a point to keep your people alive, because repairing the damage costs you a hell of a lot of money. We have to sell some stuff. As we can never use dueling pistols, we can sell them. As we can never use axes, we can sell them. As I don't like daggers, we can sell them. Clothing, well, it's better than nothing. We keep it for the moment. The store is only refreshed after 7 days, so there is nothing we can do here. We can only do next day. Oh well, we can do an upgrade of our troops, because haha! We rise alertness because we want to have more initiative. And more initiative. Initiative is king. Yes, we like initiative. Initiative is good. So, next day.
A new shipment has been requested.
So the smuggler's den. That is something special. You can give your main boss Warpstone, and then you will rise through the ranks if you do it nicely, and give him an extra, well, actually you have to give him extra payment. At the moment he wants a weight of 75. Of Wordstone we only have 34. Well, we wasn't there that good in the last mission. As you can see, you get nice things when you get up. Enchantment Puck, Sigmarid Matriarch for free, Book of Training, Toughness and Leadership, Weapon Skill, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Sigma's Heaven, if we have something to spare, we can give it to them. They will always also give us books, and well, these guys are the same for everyone. There you can send your over Warpstone that you have too much. If that should ever happen there, then you can get some bonuses here. Back to camp. Let's see what the campaignment says. Wordstone Rush, normal poor. Ugh. Rivals in the ruins, crush their will. We will never do crush their will if we can avoid it. This might be poor. Both Warbands divide into 3 strike. Whoa, that is bad. Both Warbands tightly around the wagons. Well, we cannot do the secondary objective here, but it will still be wiser to take that because our chances of winning are higher. Remember, main goal is keep your people alive. And with that, I end today's guide, tips and tricks and playthrough, and see you all next time. Bye!